The clock is still ticking. Has been for like a week. True story. Anyway, however, even after getting knocked down, Aoko Aozaki was not one to be kept that way. You know, I wonder, like, she's got the whole JoJo thing going on, where she's got like the same first syllable on it. Yeah. Good old ow ow.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Nasu's a fan, so that might have been an I.
Even though they broke that eventually with JoJo.
Kinda?
Well, you ended up with Geo.
Yeah, Geo. Yeah.
And technically it would have been like Johi if you were following the same thing for Josuke.
Oh. Well, and with
and also Jotaro.
Well, yeah, it's Jotaro because of the Japanese name order for him and Jolene.
Yeah, but it was always both given and family name.
Yeah.
It started with Joe.
At first, yeah.
Until Jotaro, and then
they kind of fucked around with that.
And then Giorno kind of went back to it very loosely.
Yeah, in an English kind of way.
Yeah. But they also just stopped referring to everyone as JoJo.
Well,
after,
the nickname, yeah.
After Jonathan.
Joseph was called it.
Yeah, Joseph, right.
After that, they're like, never mind. This name is getting a little repetitive.
JoJo!
Yeah.
She made short work of clearing up after dinner, and after conceding the first bath of the night to Alice, left the drawing room. Since it was customary in these sorts of mansions to turn the lights off when leaving an empty room, the only lit areas of the house were the drawing room and the two girls' bedrooms. But
why was the drawing room lit? Oh, I guess that one maybe stays lit.
The upstairs was enveloped in darkness. Aoko briskly made her way to the deepest part of the east wing along the long corridor, illuminated only by the light of the moon, and arrived at her room.
結論として、やっぱり騙し討ちは気に食わない。
Do they? Well.
She had been considering this on the way down the corridor, or perhaps ever since she left the drawing room. Also, my god, those are the brightest incandescent light bulbs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No incandescent bulb ever threw that shade of white light.
Yeah.
Ever.
That,
Ever. Wow. She's got LED bulbs in that fucker.
Somehow.
In 1988. How did you manage this? The moment she entered her room, she drew her proverbial line in the sand.
やるにしても隠れるのはなし。正面から堂々と向かい合って理由を言う。
So you're gonna...
Him? Him who? You don't know who him is.
I think it's, Sojiro.
Oh, we know that, but she doesn't. He was all glamored because of the spell or whatever, so he doesn't...
Oh, I thought they were just talking about the fact that she doesn't like him in general.
Oh, okay, that.
Yeah.
I thought we were...
She's gonna be like, I don't like you, punch.
This was not a concession driven by feelings of sympathy or compassion. For her, this was simply the way things ought to be.
よし。そうと決まれば。
After settling her resolve, she headed to the study next door. Why did you even stop by the bedroom?
I don't know.
木曜棚の当時欄、緑の背表紙と。
You have a Thursday shelf?
Yeah, like...
What does that mean?
So this is my Monday shelf. I only read these books on Monday.
Or it's like, yeah, her Thursday lesson or something like that.
So does that mean you have a winter solstice section on your Tuesday shelf as well? Like, does each shelf have a winter solstice section?
Thursday... Oh, she's looking for a specific book on the Thursday shelf.
Right. Without hesitating, she removed one book from the countless volumes on the shelf. Listen, I'm sure they're countable.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure the shelf does not contain infinite books.
That'd be fun, though.
Unlimited bookworks. The introductory textbooks transported here from the Aozaki residence were separated into 6 shelves, labeled Monday to Saturday.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Aoko had organized the books by topic, genre, and purpose, and had more or less memorized exactly what was in her personal library.
It's a good idea.
She had read none of it, however.
Yeah, she just knows what they are.
She did all of this organizing specifically to put off having to read any of it. Referencing any of this material took her no time at all, as was befitting the role of the keeper of this study, though this keeper's fiefdom was nothing more than a small room. Both Aoko and Alice had given up all hope on the cluttered mess of a library in the annex. Nevertheless, on occasion, Aoko would have no other option than to give Alice a heads up and visit it when this study did not meet her needs.
Mm-mm.
You know how you solve that problem? Is you get a club started at school that's some kind of like library exploration club.
Right.
And their entire job is to like explore and maintain that library for you.
And map it out and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
できればそれは避けたいところだけどと。
Ah, yes. No one is here to observe Aoko's face, therefore we get boob shot. Aoko placed the thick green book down and took a seat. The desk she sat at was sturdy, but uninviting. It wasn't the sort of furniture girls her age grew attached to, but she liked its minimalist elegance nonetheless. She flipped lightly through the book's old, worn pages.
アリスみたいな結界は私にはまだ無理だ。
Yeah.
人払いはその場所自体に変わらないといけないか。
The mountains? The woods? The school building empty at night? She was looking for a place that would be, except for the worst of luck, void of people, allowing her to forego the use of magecraft.
茨の壁だの魔力の霧だの。そういう回りくどいのもなんだしな。退路を断つっていうなら、もっとこう見た目にも状況的にも派手な方が効果的だし。
Muttering about how there had to be some basic spell that fit her needs, she continued to flip through the pages. It goes without saying that she was looking for a way to deal with the witness from the previous night. You don't know who it is! Magecraft's uses were many, but not all-encompassing. Fundamentally, Magecraft was good for making things or phenomena that existed already, while more or less bypassing the time and resources conventional means would require.
Yep, that makes sense.
Magecraft good for making things. No, I'm pretty sure that's just projection magic.
Well.
It was, however, unable to manifest phenomena that were impossible in this world.
Right.
That would be called sorcery.
Yeah.
It was essentially an equivalent exchange that used a variety of shortcuts. A phenomenon made possible by human hands, actualized by an individual's power. That was generally what Magecraft was. To give a simple example, if Aoko were so inclined, she could make an entire lake appear at the mansion.
Wow.
However, it had to be something that existed within this world. Nothing, not even the smallest matter, could escape this unbreakable law. Even if Aoko were to release a level of heat on par with an F-15 fighter jet's afterburner, that event would only be possible if the circuit named Aoko Aozaki acted as a temporary input variable in a magical formula.
Okay, sure.
The derived equivalence was simply a value that already occurred in reality. If the variable in the equation did not exist elsewhere in reality, the spell would not be valid.
So she can't... Well, no, maybe she could summon a unicorn. If there's are any that still exist in the world here.
Oh, she could summon some kind of, like, giant, scaly flying sparrow.
Yeah.
The imaginary element known as magical energy was like a lie that could only slip its fantasy through the network of order at the moment of ignition. Giving form to the non-existent illusions, invading reality, was something the universe did not allow. Except for when it does.
エーテルは基本何にでもできるんで、大元が嘘なんだっけ?
Oh, yeah, ether, the imaginary element.
Not to be confused with imaginary numbers, which are a different thing.
Yeah, that's different.
Even though Grand Order kind of confused them.
Sorta?
Well, that the imaginary element craft essence is clearly
Yeah.
referring to imaginary numbers because it's Sakura.
Yeah. But ether definitely is a thing, like, throughout all of Type Moon stuff.
魔力だけで構成されたものは幻想扱いされて急速に消えていくとか。典型的な結界、茨の壁とかはもともと茨を生やしておいて魔力で一気に成長、強化してるものだ
And
し。
you don't have time for that, I guess.
魔力っていうのは結局使い勝手のいいガソリン兼事象に火をつける火花ってわけで。なんて言いつつ架空要素云々より基本的な回路の接続と魔力を加工して弾くことが
All I figured out how to do is shoot gun.
Yeah. You know that scene from like Iron Giant? Like, you are not a gun. Aoko's like, I am gun.
Yeah.
I can only be gun. I only know gun.
That face, though, my god.
Gonder is my only means. Laughing to herself, she looked for a bounded field or something similar, more suited to her current ability. Like a bounded field that she could shoot as a projectile.
Yeah.
The identity of the witness was still unknown, but if they were a classmate of Aoko, she had any number of pretexts by which to lure them out. The problem was after that.
そうなると問題は命中率よね。一撃で決めないと逃げられちゃうだろうし。
To be honest, she wasn't confident she could handle this smoothly without Alice's support. But Aoko saw no reason to ask for help given that the target in question was a regular bystander. Fledgling as she was, she still had her pride as a mage. And mage law said she had to kill this random bystanding
Kill all
individual.
witnesses,
Yep. She continued to turn through the pages rhythmically. In the midst of the fluttering sound of thumbing through the volume, Aoko suddenly stopped her finger at a certain page.
見つけた。
She smiled to herself. It was a simple formula that she'd tucked away somewhere in the recesses of her memory. A spell of simple destruction.
檻をね、作ればいいのよ。
Okay.
狩りをする時の常套手段じゃない。獲物を逃げられないようにするのは。
She placed a bookmark on the book, closed it, and got up to return to her room. Suddenly, she felt someone watching her.
Well, that's...
It's just her own reflection.
Yeah.
Through the window, she saw her in the night, a girl staring back with a cold-hearted expression. The girl's face was hers, the expression undoubtedly her own. She began planning how to erase the witness. Though to say it was something as elaborate as a plan was overkill. This was just a job. She was going to make a cage and then lure her prey into it. There was no getting around it. Premeditated violence.
さ、そろそろアリスは上がったかな。
Spoken in the hope a bath would return some warmth to her chilled heart. About 20 minutes had passed since she gave Alice the privilege of the first of the hot water. Alice tended to bathe quickly, finishing well under 10 minutes. Her roommate was the type that couldn't understand the spirit of the bath, treating it as nothing more than a necessity for looking after one's body. For Alice, the concept of staying at a hot spring inn sounded more like a chore than anything, though in this regard, Aoko had to agree.
Huh. You don't like that either, huh?
I mean, that sounds awesome. Just standard bath is too much trouble. It takes too long. That's what showers are for.
浴場はカラッと。あれ、今に電気ついてる。
It was unusual for Alice to sit in the drawing room after her bath. On nights when she had nothing to discuss, it was her style to return directly to her bedroom.
アリス、いるの？
Indeed, she is in here. Alice nodded. With no book in hand, it appeared that Alice had been waiting for Aoko.
そういうこと。私も信用ないな、ほんと。
Aoko scratched her head in exasperation. Was it that Alice was worried about her or had no faith in her? Don't think it can't be both.
Yeah.
Her expression was so calm, Aoko could hardly figure what she was thinking.
方針なら決まったけど、聞く？
My plan is shoot him with gun.
その顔を見れば聞かなくてもわかるわ。
It's violence.
迷いがなくなったのはいいことだけど。悪い癖ね、青子。
Alice let out a small sigh. It was unusual for Alice to make such a display of her disappointment.
ええ、騙し討ちは趣味じゃないから。殺すにしても正々堂々、正面から理由を言った後にする。
You trap him in the cage like, listen, you saw a thing you shouldn't have the other night. I'm going to start shooting you now.
Right.
I don't know when I'll stop. Probably when you stop moving.
それならすっぱり後腐れもないし。文句ある？
I don't think there's gonna be trouble later if you just kill them in the first place. Like,
Well, yeah.
文句はないわ。そういうの、好きか嫌いかはこの際関係ないでしょうし。けど、
確実性はどうかってことでしょ？私、いまいち命中率悪いし。その辺の問題は場所選びでフォローしようかなと。私はアリスのようにはいかないから、物理的に逃げられない場所にしようと思うんだけど、何かアイディアない？
Dead end alleyway?
I can't help but notice, right? Like,
Yeah.
Aoko seems to be wearing her pants around her waist like a normal person.
Oh,
But Alice seems to be wearing her skirt up at her navel.
I think that's kind of normal for some things.
I mean, it's always the way, like, adults told, we're talking about, oh, you're supposed to wear your pants up around your belly button growing up. I'm like, that, why? That's so uncomfortable. Stop that. It's not how you, no. It's just so odd to see it, like, side by side like that.
Yeah.
Alice nodded in thought. The finger that gently rested on her lips was actually hovering below her chin, according to the
Well,
image.
yeah.
Indicated that the question was to her liking.
鏡はどう？鏡の国なら永遠に閉じ込めていられるけど。
あんた、そういうところ常識ないわよね。
Well, if you'd sealed for eternity, that's pretty effective.